Back home, the Federal Court has heard the process to select the site of Australia's first nuclear waste dump was so flawed the decision was invalid and should be set aside. The case seeking to overturn the decision to build the dump at Muckaty station in the Northern Territory began in the Federal Court in Melbourne today. As Guy Stainer reports, there are also concerns about who'll receive compensation.
Winter in Melbourne wouldn't normally attract people from the middle of the Northern Territory, but these visitors were never going to miss their first day in court.
My uncle once told me, you may think you're on the land, but in fact the land actually owns us.
Kylie Sambo is one of many traditional owners of Muckaty station, 600 kilometres north of Alice Springs, who claim they weren't adequately consulted on the decision to build Australia's first nuclear waste dump there.
The people of Muckaty have been pushed aside right from the start in this process. They've never been properly consulted by the Northern Land Council. They've never been properly consulted by the federal government.
Best of luck, okay?
In court, Ron Merkel QC argued the process for making the decision was so flawed it should be ruled invalid. He said with $12 million compensation payable to a broad trust fund, not one traditional owner was entitled to 1 cent under the deal. He said it has the potential to wreak havoc in remote communities.
Traditional owners feel like they've been ridden over roughshod, so I don't want this to be a green light for that to happen again in other areas of the country.
The Melbourne hearings will run throughout this week before the case moves to the Northern Territory, with 2 weeks of hearings at Tennant Creek and then another fortnight in Darwin. In total, 40 witnesses will be called. Conservationists are also closely monitoring the case. Guy Stainer, ABC News, Melbourne.